Captain Vex stormed into the medical bay with 6 armed security officers at his back, their weapons charged and ready. The breach alarm had been screaming for 20 minutes, and the tracking system showed the intruder's last known position right here, in Dr. Martinez's treatment area. What he found made him freeze mid-step. 3 Vraxian cubs, Kravosh, Mara, and Threnix, formed a living wall around the human doctor. Their spines were fully extended, their fangs bared, and their eyes blazed with the kind of protective fury that made Vex's hand instinctively move toward his sidearm. Behind them, Riley Martinez sat calmly on an examination table, a datapad in her hands, apparently reading medical reports as if nothing unusual was happening. "Stand down," Vex ordered, his voice carrying the weight of 15 years in station security. "There's a hostile intruder on this level. We need to sweep the area." Kravosh's growl rumbled like distant thunder. "No, excuse me." Vex's eyes narrowed. "That wasn't a request, Cadet." "The human stays protected," Mara added, her smaller frame no less intimidating as she shifted into a combat stance. "We detect no threat here." Vex felt his patience snap. He'd dealt with plenty of species in his career, but the Vraxians were supposed to respect authority, follow chain of command. This was insubordination of the highest order. "Why are the cubs protecting her?" he demanded, looking past them to Riley. "What did you do to them?" Riley glanced up from her datapad, and for just a moment, Vex saw something flicker in her expression, not quite amusement, but close. She set the datapad aside and stood, moving with that same unhurried calm he'd seen her use in the mess hall weeks ago. "Stand aside, kids," she said gently. The cubs hesitated, exchanging uncertain glances. Threnix's spines lowered fractionally. "But Dr. Riley, the intruder." "I know," Riley said, "but Captain Vex is doing his job. Let him through." Slowly, reluctantly, the 3 cubs parted, creating a narrow corridor. But they didn't relax their stance, didn't retract their combat readiness. They simply shifted from blocking to flanking, their eyes tracking every movement Vex's security team made. Vex approached Riley carefully, his scanner sweeping the area. The breach originated from this sector. Life signs indicated a Skelhari infiltrator, approximately 4 feet tall, cloaking technology, venomous spines. Riley finished. She pointed to a containment unit in the corner. "Yeah, I caught him about 15 minutes ago. He materialized right in the middle of my supply closet, probably looking for medical-grade sedatives to steal." Vex stared at the containment unit. Inside, a Skelhari assassin lay unconscious, his natural camouflage flickering erratically. You captured him?" "Technically, Kravosh caught him," Riley said. "I just tranquilized him once they had him pinned. The cubs detected his thermal signature before your sensors did." She smiled then, small and knowing. Vraxian cubs have excellent predatory instincts. They knew something was wrong before the alarms even triggered. Vex looked at the cubs, then at Riley, then back at the cubs. They stood like an honor guard, their earlier aggression replaced by something that looked almost like pride. "They protected you," Vex said slowly, understanding dawning. "They detected the threat and moved to shield you without orders." "They're good kids," Riley said simply. "I've been treating their training injuries, helping them adapt to station life, making sure they get proper nutrition. They're far from home, scared, trying to prove themselves." She walked over to Kravosh and patted his massive arm, a gesture that should have looked absurd but somehow didn't. Turns out if you treat someone with respect and kindness, they remember, even if they're supposed to be fearsome warriors. Kravosh's rumbling voice filled the bay. "Dr. Riley shows honor. We protect those who show honor. This is our way." Vex holstered his weapon slowly. In all his years of security work, he'd never seen Vraxian cubs bond with another species. They were notoriously isolated, trusting only their own pack. Yet here stood 3 of the galaxy's most dangerous predators, willingly placing themselves between danger and a human who barely reached their shoulders. "The intruder is secured," Riley said, returning to her examination table. You could transport him to detention whenever you're ready. And Captain, she picked up her data pad again.